the 2 Minute Hacks podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hacks podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday. As a matter of fact, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salter. Man, look, I want to know today, I got a question. And I really want to know what it means to most of you guys. I played a video yesterday. I was watching the video, and the video was very intriguing, and it was a pretty decent, I think it was probably maybe a 5-minute video, maybe longer, but it was a documented court case where the young man was actually trying to sue his dad, and I thought it was weird that he was trying to sue his dad because of what he was trying to sue his dad for. And it sense, it was really crazy that he would even take his dad into court. This young man, and y'all forgive me because I'm trying to drive and navigate and be safe too. But this young man, this is why he took his dad. He took his dad into court because he was suing his dad for $60,000. Because his dad bought him a vehicle, and it wasn't the vehicle that he wanted. And he felt like his daddy was in breach, not necessarily of contract, but of his word. So the young man supposedly was a star athlete, a star basketball player in college, and was a 4.0 student, had always made good grades all the way through school. And his dad had always told him that if he made good grades and all that stuff, that he was gonna, make sure that he was good, take care of him. And so he felt like that since he was a so-called, I guess, honor student, 4.0 GPA, he was a good student, he was a good athlete, and he had actually earned a scholarship to college. He had actually earned a scholarship to college based on his academics, and well, no, he got a basketball scholarship, but he could have got an academic scholarship as well. And so the young man was literally suing his father, for, having or not having his back is what he said. His dad didn't have his back. And like he said he was, gonna do. And I thought it was crazy because I'm like, you suing your dad Now the dad bought him a car because he had the good grades and all this stuff. So him and his wife had talked about buying the young man a used car, just something that he can get back from A to Z, get back and forth. And you know, the young man felt like that his dad um, should bought him a luxury car. And when I say luxury car, I'm talking Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, that kind of car. And so his dad didn't buy them. They didn't buy the used jalopy sort of get from A to B car. They went and bought him a brand new, I want to say $60,000 electric car, which is still not cheap. $60,000 electric car. The boy said he didn't want the electric car because if he wanted something electric, something that he needed to charge up, he can go charge up his phone. So the judge was looking at him like he was crazy, first of all. So when he got to the man, the daddy was like, look, I didn't raise him like this. This is not how I raised him. And so the judge said, well, clearly, for the boy to be expecting you to buy him a Lamborghini, a Porsche, or whatever, clearly you have the means to do so. He said, without getting into your financial business. And the man said, I mean, I could probably make it happen, and make it work, But he was like, but why? I'm not gonna buy him if he want a Lamborghini or Ferrari, he needs to work hard, go to the NBA and buy his own Lamborghini, Ferrari, which made sense. But the boy was like, no, I have an image to uphold, and I'm the captain of the basketball team, and I have an image to uphold, and I can't be driving up in an electric car. And I'm like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Anyway, so as they talked to the daddy, come to find out the daddy was an immigrant who had migrated to the U.S., didn't have really the education, kind of self-made, went and worked his way up. He worked for a company, a big name brand company. He didn't say the name, but he worked his way up and don't have, any schooling, but worked his way up and, does pretty good for his job. And he was like, he's trying to teach his son the principle of getting out there working hard for what you really want. He said, yeah, we bought him the car because he had the good grades and all of this stuff. And so the judge asked the daddy, he said, so, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you are a very successful man. He was like, well, I guess you could say that in some terms. I feel like I have, made success in areas. So that made me think about the question today. I went through all that to get to the question. I went through 8 minutes to get to this question of what does being successful or having a successful life mean to you? Because for this man, it was, and he still didn't really call it success, but by most people's terms, he probably had a successful life because he, came with nothing. He was poor. He lost his parents at 7. Worked his way up, migrated to, came to the U.S., was raised by an aunt who was very mean to him, but he still made his way and pretty much has a successful life to the point where he could buy his son a Ferrari. I mean, I think that's, that's pretty decent. But chose not to because he's saying, look, I want to teach you the meaning of going out here working hard, yeah. And so they asked him, did he go to public school or private school? The man said, well, we put him in private school. And he said, so did he have tuition costs? He said, yeah, it was very expensive to have him in private school. And the boy was like, well, I ain't asked him to send me to private school. He was like, son, the judge was like, son, listen to what you're saying. He said, these people wanted you to go to the best school possible so you can get the good grades and do all the good and have and prepare, a successful life. And his major was cyber security, which is really big right now. Cyber security is huge right now, right? And so he was like, so even if basketball does not work for you, it sounds like you have a really good background that you can go into where you can still support yourself and take care of yourself, and possibly still buy that nice luxury car you want. Man, the boy was livid, man. He was like the judge, just really side with his daddy because his daddy, they both were old and he don't understand, and like he has an image to uphold. He can't be driving around in no electric car. And bro, I never heard of such, like, the audacity. And so the boy didn't really and I would assume by what he was requesting from his dad, he really saw his dad as being a successful person as well. So again, I'm asking the question: what does success mean to you, or having a successful life mean to you? Um, for me, a successful life for me, or having success, means that um, I'm comfortable. That does not necessarily mean that I'm rich, or but I'm comfortable. I can provide for myself. I can provide for my family. I can provide housing. I can, and by, you know, from where I came from to now, I think I've had I view my life as being successful. I yeah, I ain't gonna say I've never been to jail, but I've been to jail twice, and both times neither one of them was my fault. Um, and but it was like, I only spent a night there, so I ain't spent like years or months. I only spent a night, and then hell, the stuff that I was doing that I should have went to jail for, I never went to jail for, which is crazy. So by most people's standards, people would probably look from the outside, looking at my life. Those who know me, or have some insight into to my lifestyle or my life, would say I'm pretty decent or successful, and I consider myself as being successful. I don't think my life has been a failure, so I would say it's been a success. And so I know success means different things to many people, and that's why I wanted to know, because clearly the man felt like he had a level of success, but his son felt like he was successful enough to buy him a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. Um, and before Lavelle hopped to the trusty AI,
I didn't even
I
look.
know.
I was listening to you.
Oh, I know you. I know you were going though.
Eventually,
uh,
I thought about it.
and while I'm finna read this, I want you to think about whether or not, in terms of your life, if you think your life is successful or not, in terms of how you view it. But it says success means different things to different people, and it's often a subjective and personal matter. Again, how you view it or how people view it. While some define it as achieving tangible milestones like career advancement or financial security, others prioritize personal growth, well being, or making a positive impact on the world. Ultimately, success is what an individual defines it to be, reflecting their values, goals, and aspirations. So, again, based on what AI has said so far, it can mean success can mean different things to many people. And that's why I felt like it was a fair question this morning. Because yo, what you deem as successful, Lavelle, may not be successful to me. My success may mean something totally different.
Right.
Um, but having external achievements like career, like when people feel like their career, or they have achieved whatever milestone in their career, just say they went to school to be a doctor and now they are very successful doctor, or have a very successful medical practice. Well, that could mean success for them, because they've gotten their degree, they've gotten their medical doctorate, and they are practicing in their field, and having a level of success. And then some people view it as financially, reaching financial stability or accumulating a certain kind of wealth, or just being able to afford a comfortable lifestyle. Like I said, just being comfortable, having the comfort and being able to provide for my family. The necessities that we need. And I feel like I've had a level of success as far as my academia. Um, I've achieved 4 degrees, and I didn't get them early on in life. I got them later in life. That was a milestone and a level of success that I reached, being able to do that and doing it at an age where most people feel like I'm too old to go and do that. Also, um, social. Some people feel, if they have a certain uh, level. Good morning, Paulette. A certain level, or have reached a certain level in social status, that they are successful. Having people around you, or a certain degree or level of people around you, uh, you may find that as having a successful, or being able to build strong relationships and having supportive family, in community, to you, can be successful. Oh, that's you. Um, so it can mean a wealth of stuff, and I mean it goes. AI goes on and on about the internal growth and well-being, having a positive impact. For personal development, emotional well-being, spiritual growth, social contribution, environmental stewardship, making a difference. So it can go on and on and on. So you know, I don't ever want people to think that your life or how you view whatever areas of your life is not successful because you're trying to match your life up against, like, I'm trying to, if my life don't equal what the Lavelle life equals, I'm not successful.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's far from the truth, because Lavelle may have succeeded at being a professional uh, DJ, have a successful entrepreneurship, have a successful family. He's able to support his family and able to provide for his family. Children are doing well, socially, physically, healthy, healthy relationships, all that stuff. And these are all areas that I may not have had success in.
Hmm.
But I've achieved 4 degrees. Lavelle ain't been to school, to get a degree. You see what I'm saying? So that's a level of success. So I can't match Lavelle life tick for tack or base my life successes based on what Lavelle life successes are. So according to what I just read, how do you view life? What does having success or being successful, having a successful life mean to you?
I mean, you pretty much said, I didn't go to college, didn't have a college degree, don't have a any college degree for that matter. Um, being able to achieve what I have, achieved. Um, everybody, you got a lot of people who have that testimony, but you know, uh, I've been able to, when I did work in corporate America, have some very, I would say great jobs for me not to even have any degrees. Worked for major Fortune 500 companies, management, just off, me being having the knowledge that I have been blessed with. So, like I say, success is, comes in many different terms as to what you deem being successful. So, you
Right,
know,
right,
I, I always say success begins with you.
right,
Like the
right,
word itself starts with the letter S, but if you understand what success really is, success begins with you. How you view success, how you view. I think one particular term says that success comes in cans. You know what I'm saying? I can do this, I can do that, I can achieve this. So it's all about your mindset and how you view things and what you, like you say, what you deem success as being. So you can't measure or compare yourself, like you said earlier, to somebody else's success of what they're doing and what they're not doing. And I think that's where we fall at in life because we try to compare ourselves
right,
to other individuals, and we end up being unsuccessful because we're trying to compare ourselves to other individuals, and you're gonna fall every time. So,
right. And I think you definitely hit, you know when we talk about comparing, and I think that's where people I think that's the failure aspect, or that's where people tend to fall off at, where
Mhm.
they're trying to base the success of their life or whatever successes that they've had or not had. They're trying to really base it on what they perceive somebody else's life is, or how somebody else's life is set up.
Mhm.
And how can you compare your life to somebody else's life and then say, well, I'm not successful? But if you take these components that I've talked about, that I just mentioned, even if it's just a personal that's success, bro.
Mhm.
Personal development. You got especially if you come from a broken family, if you want to call it a broken family, you know, where maybe you didn't have a dad in the household, you don't even know who your daddy was, and your mama always worked and didn't really show you the love, and but you come out of it, and you've grown, and now you are uh, a life coach. You know what I'm saying? Coaching, counseling people. Hell, that's success, because you've already beat the odds. People tell you that if you come from a single family and no father, that you might not be successful and all of this stuff. Just like, and I think that's one of the reasons why when I heard Aaliyah's speech, it was so touching to me, because she talked about how people mentioned her because her father wasn't in her life, and she had she was being raised by a single mother, that the likelihood of her having some success was slim to none. And she's like, nah, I'm gonna prove the naysayers wrong. And I got the receipts. Check my transcript. you know, Paulette says being successful is an accomplishment of what you've been working hard to have. You can look back over your life and see the struggles you left behind. Well worth counting your blessings. Absolutely. Monica says, I agree. People should not look at other people's accomplishments when determining their own successes. A lot of times you are looking from the outside and have no clue the struggles it took to accomplish things. Some successes come easy, and others come hard. Absolutely. You know, and that's why I said you should never, 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 never be in one of those situations where you're trying to compare your life to somebody else's life and then determining whether or not your life is successful or what success is based on what they're doing. Because you know. And that's why I say all the time too, we have to be careful how we want. Like, I shouldn't want what Lavelle wants. Cause for one, I don't know how the hell Lavelle got what he got. Lavelle could be the biggest dope dealer on this side of the planet, and got the big house out there and nice cars and all this stuff. And I'm just looking from the outside saying, I'm gonna go get they my neighbor, and I'm busting my tail working 3 jobs, just trying to maintain the house, trying to keep up with they got a new car, let's go get us a new car. And I don't know, Lavelle over there selling so much dope, he Tony Montana over there. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful of how we let outside or what other people are doing in their life, outside influences influence our lives, or what successes we have, or compared to what successes we have or don't have.
Yeah.
And I think when we look at it that way, when you start to really think about, um, man, just like I said, the personal growth, development, spiritual growth, you know, just the emotional well-being. When you start to really look back at those things and don't just take a lot of people base success on financial well-being. Good morning, Joseph. They base success on financial well-being, But it's so much more to success than just having finances.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start to take these other components that I've talked about, like the spiritual growth, emotional well-being, personal development, just being able to socially contribute or contributing to the environment or just making a difference in your community. You know, I was watching Doc Holliday. I guess he was out doing his normal walk and workout, and he was going by a school and he saw like the school lot. People had trash all over the field and stuff. And then he looked up and saw some brothers cleaning it up. And so he went to the brother. He actually knew one of the brothers. He said, "Yeah, man, we had a scrimmage out here yesterday, and yes, you know, some people that was out there to scrimmage threw some stuff down there." He said, "And we had to make it right. We wanted to come out here and clean it up because this is our community, and we're responsible for our community, and we got to keep our community clean." And Doc said something. He said, "Man, look, if we don't appreciate, you know, and take care of the stuff that God has blessed us with already, how can He trust us with more?"
Right.
If we won't take care of the grounds around us, we just throw stuff. Like I walked out the house one day, and I know it's somebody just randomly going down the street throwing stuff out the window, and it was just stuff just right on the curb in front of my house, bottles and stuff, and I'm like, this ain't blue for nobody garbage can. This somebody just riding down the street being trifling, throwing stuff out the window.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw it. I didn't just leave it there. I walked out there, picked it up, put it in the garbage can.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times, man, it takes a couple of seconds to pick up something and throw it away, you know. And I believe like you know, I'm starting to get on this kick, Lavelle. I don't know if you can count on it, but I'm on this. And Chance got me really to thinking about this when we talked to Chance and interviewed Chance. He got me to really thinking about the universe and just how, you know, that energy, man, that you put into it is what you get out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he talked about the ancestors a lot in the universe, and he got me to thinking like, man, like it's so much out here that we take for granted, bro. We look around, man, all God's creation, man, stuff God did that we take for granted. And I think if we take care of those things, it'll take care of us. And think about it. Think about the global warming and climate change and all that stuff, because we're using up all the Earth's natural resources. When you use it up, how can it give it back to you when you're using it up?
Mm.
So we got to quit. I said that again to say we have to stop choosing, because it's a choice, to compare our life or the successes or non-successes in our life to what other people are doing, to determine whether or not we're having success or not having success.
Yeah.
You know, and I think
the reason why a lot of times we're not successful is because it's an acronym that I've learned some years ago that I really love. It's called POUR. And the acronym is passing over opportunity repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the times, you know, it's stuff that we want to accomplish to be successful, and we don't go after it, and we pass over that opportunity, and we keep on passing it, we keep on passing. And say, well, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I think like one day you had told me, I said, man, I'm gonna get up and start walking. You said that's your problem. Don't say you're gonna do it. Just get up and do it.
Just do it. Yep.
You know, and stop passing over that opportunity. And a lot of times we just put our own foot, you know, in our own mouths. And a lot of times sometimes we beat ourselves up.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, and we be down on yourself. You really gotta say you shouldn't talk to yourself. I don't believe that. I talk to myself all the time. And I answer.
and I think we're beating up ourselves, like you said, we're beating up ourselves because our success don't look like the next person's success.
Mm-hmm.
And because it don't look the same, it don't feel the same, we feel like it's not the same, and therefore we are not successful. And that could be, I'm talking about way far from the truth.
Right. And then another word, a term that we use, and we don't really understand the true meaning of the word. We be trying to, be perfect, if you will, and we don't understand what the word perfect means. Perfect means to establish. So this morning we got up and we knew that we were gonna get on the podcast. I was late, but whatever. But the word perfect means to establish, up to obtain. So when we woke up this morning and we did that, we was perfect. It was perfect. It was established. Just like when the
Right.
Italians cook food, they say perfecto when the food is
Right.
done
Yeah.
and it's established. We don't understand that term and that word, and we beat ourselves up because we're trying to achieve something. It's truly, honestly, not achievable. But when you accomplish a thing, you made that thing perfect. You established that thing.
And that's a success. But because again, people are looking at success differently, and they're looking at success based on financial. If I'm financially, I might not have no money, but I've accomplished so many other things. That's success. Marcus said this. She said, "I'm glad you said that because we shouldn't compare when our successes should come as well." And that's really good that she said that. For example, when I turn 30, I'll be married, or when I turn, because like what are you basing that on?
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying because life dictates that if I make it to 30 and I ain't already got married yet, and I haven't done that, I'm not gonna be successful, or I won't
Right.
have a successful marriage?
Mm-hmm.
I got married at 23. you know, I know people got married at 60. So we in the same thing. It's like, oh, when I hit 65, I'm gonna retire. I'm like, whoever said you have to be 65 to retire?
Mm-hmm.
I know people retired at 30. I know people retired at 25 because they determined that I've reached a level of success in my life that now I ain't finna do it for nobody. I'm finna set it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that. That makes good sense, and I'm glad she brought up that point. Um, it says the importance of the personal definition. When you look at subjectivity, success is not always one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
It's highly personal and depends on individuals' values and goals.
Mm-hmm.
It depends totally on what your values are, what your goals are. Now, I'm not telling you, like Monica said, that you can't have a goal that I want to be married by 30. But it shouldn't be, oh, I got to get there. Like, if you don't hit it, you just set a goal. But God may have other plans. He might say, the person that I'm going to send to find you, I ain't going to find you till you 35. you know. So we can't look at and say, it's got to be when I hit 30. The meaningfulness, true success is about achieving things that are personally meaningful and aligned with your values, bro. That means that there are so many things personally you can achieve outside of finance. We talked about personal growth. If you went from going through life, not even going to school, not getting your GED, till you then at 40 decide I want to get my GED. That's a personal growth and success, bro. Just because I didn't graduate high school, and I waited till I was 35, 40 to get my GED, That's success, bro. That's personal growth. Because I said I don't feel complete personally that I don't at least have a GED. And I set out to do that, and I did it. And
A lot of
not
times, I think it was either you or Kenny, or maybe both of y'all did it. Y'all preached a sermon. We need inside strength for
yeah,
outside pressure.
yeah. That was I've actually preached it several times. God will give you inside strength to deal with outside pressures.
Yeah, and and a lot of the stuff that we try to be successful at, I don't achieve. I try to do stuff that we really just trying to please other people, if you will, and it be outside pressure, and you really don't. It ain't necessarily deemed successful, if you know, in this
Mm.
sense of the matter, because you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for other people.
And I'm glad you brought that up, man, because that sermon is can be so applicable to so many different situations, bro. Because and that was the whole basis of me doing it. It was I started that off talking about how you got this life where you're living, right? You drive this okay car, you live in this okay house, and you go to work every day busting your tail, but yet you in your neighborhood, you see this guy that stands on the corner all day long, don't never be at work, he out here all day long. He go and get in a Mercedes or something really, really nice and pull up to this really nice house, and you looking at it like, damn, man, I'm out here busting my ass. I'm out here working this job, getting up. I can barely pay the bills. I got this jalopy. This joke sitting on the corner all day. That's pressure, bro. That's pressure. But the relief in that is only what you do for Christ will last. That what he doing ain't gonna last, cause somebody gonna kill him or he gonna be in jail. One of the two. It's gonna eventually catch up. I talked about the pressure of Daniel. Daniel was a man that prayed 3 times a day, and Daniel was placed over this certain. He had this certain position, and the people were jealous because they were like, Daniel got, and they know Daniel prayed 3 times a day, so they put it on the king hard to issue a decree that anybody that prayed would be thrown in the lion's den, would be punished.
Mm-hmm.
That's pressure, bro. You sitting back saying, now they know the king know I pray 3 times a day, and he gonna issue this decree, right?
Yep.
But what did Daniel do? Daniel said, I don't really care that he issued that, because I'm gonna stay true to who I am and what I do, and that's what we fall. We don't stay true to who we are. And Daniel still went in there and prayed, and when it discovered Daniel prayed, they threw Daniel in that lion den, because Daniel was faithful. Them lions were made pillows for Daniel to lay his head on, a comfortable sleep. Big old fairy pillow. So we can't be pressured by what other people do in life and compare our lives to their life, because that's too much pressure, man. We put that's undue pressure and stress that we putting on ourselves.
Yep.
Monica says, I desire to see the world. I think I am successfully in my plan to do so. I make a conscious decision to go somewhere different every year, and I have a goal to do something new while there. I haven't seen the whole world yet, but I've successfully checked a lot of places off my list. And for her, that is success.
Yep.
It's what you make it, bro. It's and you can't compare it to nobody else. I don't know why that comparative thing is just in there. Like, you just can't compare your life, your situation to nobody else to determine whether or not you're successful or not. But we do it every single solitary day.
Yep.
We do it. We jump out there. We start comparing, like, you know, our life is just not going. You know, if we can't have the level of success that Miss Jones having next door, we're just unsuccessful.
Yep.
And that's far, far, far from the actual truth.
Mhm.
You know, so I don't ever want us as people, as individuals, to look at our lives, or even look at it in retrospect. You know, look back over your life and just feel like my life is just such a drag. People have taken their lives to veil for less.
Mhm.
And if you think about children, can you imagine? Can you imagine how many? I don't even know what the statistics is, but I bet you it's a great statistic. It's a large statistic. How many children do you think have taken their lives because they're comparing what they have or what they don't have to somebody else?
Wow, it's probably too high.
You see what I'm saying? Um, we're looking at and basing our life because we don't have the creature comforts of life that somebody else has, and maybe they teased us about it, or oh, you pulled up in that jalopy, and my mama got riding over this Mercedes, and then you feel a certain kind of way that and this is too like this is why I think a lot of children or man, thank you Lord, um this this is the problem with a lot of our young folk today,
Hmm.
because they're looking at what people have, and a lot of them come from impoverished life, lifestyles of living where they don't have it or didn't have it, and they want it, and because they don't have it and they seeing other people have it, they want it, and they don't have the means of getting it the right way at this current point in time, so they gonna go get it out the mud, as they say.
Hmm.
And if getting it out the mud means sticking Lavelle up to take what Lavelle have so I can have it, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
That's pressure, bro. That's pressure as a young person. Like, and that's why I used to tell my kids coming up that it ain't about what you have. And so never down. And I used to tell my kids never down any other kid or go to school, and because you have something and they don't you tease them or make fun of them because they don't have. If you got it and they don't have it, you share it with them if you can. Man, bro, this is crazy because there have been times my kid, especially little Tony, he'd come home and be like, "What your so and so at?" I gave it to this kid at school because he ain't had nothing, or his food, or he bought the kid at lunchtime. He took his allowance money and bought the kid something. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have it. Because I've always told them, you don't make fun of people that don't have something just because you have it and they don't.
Hmm.
Monica says setting personal goals is key, not what your friends or neighbors have or desire, but what is your personal heart's desire, spiritually, personally, emotionally, financial, etc. You just did the whole AI again.
Hmm.
You just did the whole entire AI because that's all. That's what the AI said. It said that exact same thing, that you know you have to achieve those tangible milestones like career advancement or financial security or whatever. But it also involves personal growth, well-being, and making a positive impact on the world. Ultimately, success is what the individual defines it to be, reflecting their values, goals, and aspirations. So what are your values? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? And if when you consider that, success will start to mean different things for you then. You know what I'm saying? If you add all of those elements, the personal growth, the spiritual, and all that stuff into it, along with the financial and other life achievements, now you can. We used to talk about on the job, having successes and wins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having successes and wins. When you're doing team building or you're working in teams. We were defining um, success of that team by the successes or wins that we have. Even though we know we're gonna have some L, we're gonna take some L. You ain't finna be on a team with a whole. There's no way you can be on a team with more than two people with different personalities, different styles, different everything, and not have some type of conflict.
Right. Hey, check your phone, bro. I need to run.
All right, yeah, okay. So I just don't want us to sit back, look at life, and feel like our life is a failure because we don't have what the next person have. We don't do what the next person do. We don't see what the next person see. That type of thing. I just don't want our lives shouldn't be set up that way. Our successes should be based on our personal goals, our what we our moral standards and values. Um, it should be based on that. And I mean, having great morals is a win. That's a success. You know, having great values and following those values. That's successful. Uh, Growing personally. I'm not the same person I was a year or 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or a month. And that's why I don't like people who look at people's past and still try to judge them based on their past. Because who I was um 3 years ago or 6 years ago or hell even yesterday may not be who I am today. I recall one time I started in this position, and the person I reported to, my superior, um, was trying to give me, the insight on different people. What's up, Marcus? Good morning. Was trying to give me the insight on um some people that were going to be working for me, right? Oh, that person, and I said, I just kind of stopped them. I said, no disrespect, and please don't take this as disrespect. I appreciate, you trying to give me a heads up. I said, but I don't operate that way. I said, because who a person is to you, that's to you. That person may not be that to me. What a person did in their past with you don't mean they gonna do that with me. So what I did was, and they said, fair, I get it, and they bagged off, and I got a chance to learn those individuals and work with those individuals, and some of the stuff that they said about the individual that I heard them say before I cut them off, they did none of that stuff with me, or they didn't even represent that person to me. So we have to be careful about that as well. Uh, and so I have to look at you and determine who you are based on who you are to me, not who you are to somebody else or what you were to somebody else. So don't 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 base your success off the next person or what the next person is doing or being. Look back in retrospect over your life and then look at those wins that you've had. Look at that, man. I used to do that. I don't do that no more. Marcus and I, Marcus Parson is on here. I don't know if he's still on here, but he was on here, and we had a good conversation this weekend. We were talking about kind of our past, and just listen to this. Because I didn't know his past, I didn't know anything about him, right? And he didn't really know a whole lot about my past. But us sharing and talking, because who he is now today is, I would have never thought he was that type of person that he told me he was in the past. Because what I see today was a God-fearing man who loved life, who loved his wife, you know what I'm saying, loved his family, and that's all I saw. And if what he told me about his past is true, that man has a successful life now, because he has grown personally, spiritually, all of it. And by my account, he is a successful individual. I don't know how he views himself, but just from me looking at from who he is today and who he was, based on what he told me, he's a very successful person. So don't just look at your life from a financial standpoint, and because you're not there financially or not where you want to be financially, and say my life is a failure, right? He said most definitely. Don't look at it as a failure. If you're not where you want to be, even from a career standpoint, don't look at it as a failure. Look at where you started, not where you're going, but look at where you started and where you are now. And if you've grown any, then that's a success. So we have to quit viewing success through other people's lenses and start to look through our own lens and look at what success is to us. And I think when we start to do that, that is when we really truly understand what true success is to us and what it means to us. Because other than that, you're going to continue to base your life or live your life based on somebody else's life or reality when that's not yours. Exactly, Monica. Give yourself a little grace. And I think, if we just, even if we don't give ourselves grace, if we just don't look at other people, look through the lens of other people's eyes, or look at what other people are doing, take your eyes off other people and put them on yourself and what you've done, and really look in hindsight or retrospect back over your life as what you've done, and you'll realize that you are a successful person, or have had that success that most people wouldn't even consider success. Because again, based on what they're saying, is that it don't matter. Success can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and it's often subjective and impersonal in nature. And if you don't look at what you're doing from a personal perspective, your personal growth, your spiritual growth, financial achievements, career goals, community goals, whatever, travel goals, whatever it is, you look at those things, and if you're checking off the boxes, you're having success. You are successful. And you may not check the boxes off in every area or aspect of your life. That's the part that we gotta let go. You might not be able to successfully check off every box that's in your wheelhouse of boxes. But don't define or quit defining your success by what others are doing, what others have done, what you see others do. And if you stop doing that, then you will look at life, you will look at success a whole lot more different than what you currently or how you currently view it now. You know. So thank you guys for tuning in today, man. We appreciate you. I'm gonna give you guys a couple of minutes back today. Remember, for those of you who want to come out tomorrow to share with us in that experience, we will be at the I forgot the name of the brewery. But we'll put it's up in the group anyway. We'll put it up in the group on the page. But come out tomorrow with us. Share with Lavelle. Lavelle will be on the ones and twos. He'll be doing karaoke. But we're going to actually do our presentation from the 2 Men and a Hat podcast. We're going to be doing a presentation tomorrow. So come on out and be a part of that wonderful, wonderful event. So thank you guys again. We appreciate you, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad place. 2 Men and Hats. Let's talk about it.
It's the 2 Men and Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Men and Hats podcast.